Building on the foundations of the APRS igate, the transmit side of the setup, by Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Now, back with my APRS igate build. So this is the radio now with the lead connected to it that will do the transmit side. It's just a piece of Ethernet cable, Cat 5 Ethernet cable. I've cut the end off and traced out the appropriate wires for audio and PTT that match the pinout of the Lixinlation, whatever you want to pronounce it, VV898. So I've got the radio here. It's obviously transmitting and receiving. And over here we've got the Raspberry Pi. Now I've got the lid off that because those wires won't go through with the lid on. So the first pin that you can see at the very bottom there, that's 3.3 volts. Now this is important because the Raspberry Pi header can't tolerate a 5 volt on it, so you've got to use the 3 volt supply onto the GPIO pins. You can't use 5 volts, otherwise the smoke comes out, and that's not what we want here. So you can see there's an LED there, it just flashes now and again. That's for data carrier detect. I need to obviously put some heat shrink over the leads of that. I think I might have covered that another time. I'm not sure if I covered it in the last one. So got GPIO 24 ground and 25. 25 does the PTT side, 24 does the LED, the ground is for the interface circuit. Now I've got to be very careful here because if I get this wrong, it causes the Pi to reboot. So we've got over here the interface circuit. It's based on a version of the 555 timer chip that actually works at down to about 2 volts, which is ideal because we're using 3.3 volts here. Got a potentiometer over there. It's 10k, I believe it is, and I've set it roughly for the middle at the moment. It's got a tantalum capacitor on the middle contact with the audio going through there. The ground side of the audio is going to one side of that, and the hot of the audio that's coming out of that is going to the other side, which goes to the connector on the Raspberry Pi. It's a little USB dongle sound card. The audio coming in from the radio goes to that capacitor. So it's just a very simple interface. The instructions for building that and also setting up the audio side are on the direwolf GitHub page. It's just gone out of focus a bit. Let's see if I can get it back in for you. There we go. So I'm using the backup camera, which is just a mobile phone. So focus is wavering a wee bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to tidy this up. So what I'll need to do is I will need to possibly put a hole in this lid here. I'm just bringing that into shot for you, so I can run those DuPont connectors through it, so I can get them onto the header, and also maybe put some insulation across the potentiometer and that LED. I'll bring them back into focus because they've just gone out of focus a wee bit. There we go. So just keep wavering in and out of focus. I think the focus needs looking at on this because I think I might have done something and not realised I've done it. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to get this all tidied up. So I'll return shortly. Obviously it means I've got to shut it down. So catch you in a little while. Okay, put everything back together now, and that's what I've managed to do. I've just used a bit of hot melt glue, drilled a couple of holes in the lid of the Pi's case, and just glued everything on really. The blue on the board is just there just to insulate the bottom of the board. Doesn't need to be on there now, but that was on there from before. Just to stop anything shorting against that. The potentiometer there is just floating in free space, but that's okay because it's never going to be touched anyway unless the audio is too high or low. Got my FT2D there ready to receive everything from this. So first thing I've got to do is I've got to plug in the USB power cable. This is the one from my Alcatel phone. This one here. If I just plug that into the Pi, these are going to be the fun part. other way, I think. Yep, this is going to be the fun part because I've got to try and do this whilst holding the camera at the same time. This is the second take, and I managed this on the first take, no problem at all. There we go, it's in. You'll have seen the little green LED there light up. I'll just put that into focus for you because focus is just doing weird things at the moment. I haven't got a clue why. So that's now focused on the LED there, and I'm just being told it's 4 o'clock. Which means in 3.5 hours we'll be having the first meeting of the Holborn and Richmondshire District Amateur Radio Society, except socially distanced and in a car park. Just down the road a bit. So that's a good thing. A socially distanced club meeting, so we're able to do that. And I do have a face mask and such like, so I don't have to worry too much there. But back onto this, so that's now booting. I can access the terminal on that from my phone. So I'll just log into that. It'll let me know. I've just got to enter the password because I can't tell you what that is. And I've got to run a screen session. And I've got to just run direwolf. Or run it just as is. I won't run it with the colours turned off. Because on this terminal it doesn't flash, it seems to be an issue with the way LX Terminal's handling it, I think. So, that's not a major issue because I don't use LX Terminal on anything else anyway, just that one computer. So that's now booted up and connected to the appropriate server. Now, if I hold that properly, it's not going to shake, is it? So, we should have the iGate's now connected up to the internet, which is the part it obviously needs to be. That LED will flash periodically. So, okay, so did that anyway, even with the wires not routed past most of the electronics in there. So, at the moment it's just sending packets out to the iGate, but we should, in a moment, see the red light on the front of this radio come on, and hear my FT2D beep. Should beep at most twice, but it might only beep once. It is into a dummy load. The dummy load's actually right behind the radio. So we shouldn't have a problem. There we go. And there we go. So we know it's working that way. I'm going to send a test packet from my FT2D, so beacon transmit. Oh, wrong time. Because it transmitted something else there. Yeah, received that. So it's received my beacon perfectly fine. Audio levels are okay. So that's absolutely fine. That's doing its job. So it's now working as an iGate, and I'm happy with that. So next thing to do is build an antenna, apply for an NOV, get some power down in that shed, and should be good to go. So I'm just going to see how that plays out. So also got to tidy up some of the stringy bits of glue because you know how hot melt glue can get. So, and there's a dummy load that's on the radio. I can bring that into focus as well. There we go. So there's a taggy one. I don't like using that as a taggy dummy load on 2 meters, but it's all I've got really. So, because I've got a saltwater one, but that's only really any good for HF. So, but yeah, that's working all right, I suppose. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't be. So, all the information that's coming off this at the moment just appears to be local. There's nothing else. It's working. It's doing its job. It's got the green data carrier detect light, so I know if it's receiving a valid packet or it's just receiving noise. The radio does have an S meter. Zoom focus on the screen there. Doing a lot of focusing today. I don't like doing that so much. Yep, so I know when that's on. And the best bit is, keypad's locked, so if anyone goes into the shed, if I give them permission to, then they can't change any of the settings. So that radio is now pretty much locked to the APRS frequency. Can't really do anything there. So it'll receive position packets. It'll transmit and receive messages. I can actually demonstrate that. So I will just find my APRS Droid app on here. What I can do is I can turn on that. What I can then do is go to messages, send a message to, obviously it'd be me, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform -7. Message text, I'm going to put into that one, test message for YouTube video. There we are. So what should happen, I will bring the FT2D back into shot, like so. This will demonstrate another advantage of having a local igate. So I sent that, push OK. That should now have sent. There we go. Even sent the ACK back as well. So there we go. It's all doing what it should be doing. If you heard a click behind there, I've got a crude field strength meter behind there. When I say crude, I literally mean crude. So it's not going to send that message anymore. It sent it. The acknowledgement was sent back. It's happy. So it'll actually start. If I do a one-shot position packet on this, it might. We assume it's getting a GPS fix. Send it back to the FT2D. And it did. That's the one from my phone. I can actually show you that. One-handed, he says. Actually, it's just gone off the screen now, just as I was about to have a look at that for you. But never mind. But that's now doing what I want it to do. So if I just turn that off so it doesn't send any more, because I don't need APRS Droid to do anything else again. I'm going to clear that. And yeah, that's all well and good. That's all working. So the benefits of a local igate: you can send your position packets to the APRS-IS. You can send messages to other APRS users. Works quite well. So, and I'm just running that off my bench power supply at the moment, my Maplin one. So, but it works absolutely spot on. So, I'm happy with that. And as I say, it just leaves for me to get an NOV, get an antenna built, get some decent coax as well, and get some power into the shed, which I was hoping would be off a battery and some solar panels. I've also got to get the shelves in there as well. I haven't done that yet since I cleared it out and moved the CRT TV, which I think I might have mentioned in a previous video, did not go bang. So, I'm satisfied with all that. So, it's Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, as you do. And obviously if you do subscribe, ring the bell, and you can catch me on the air on GB3IR, GB3HG, the CB, 11 metres, whatever you want to call it. PMR 446, I'm not sure I mentioned it, I probably didn't, but yeah, you can catch me on there. Network radios, the HubNet, I sometimes listen to that as well. So, no excuse not to get on the air and talk to me. My working hours at present are between 3 PM and 11 PM Friday through Tuesday. So between the hour of 2 and 3 and 11 and 12 PM, you should be able to catch me on the air, although I don't think many people are up at 11 PM. You'll be able to catch me on GB3IR driving back from work. So it's worth putting a call out there. I have monitored network radios for a while. I think my network radio itself might need charging. It's in the car right now, and I haven't used it for a while. Not since I finished my last job. So, and yeah, building an igate need not be difficult. So, I'll hopefully get this on the air soon. Don't forget, you can also message me on the DAPnet. I do have access to that these days. And you can send APRS messages to me as well. Although I'm just testing this igate at the moment, you can still send APRS messages to me, provided that I've actually sent beacons out to this thing. So it'll usually be -7 or -9, whichever, once the igate's fully operational, which I'm hoping will be in the next few weeks, once I can get an antenna built and also an NOV and also some power in the shed. So 7.3s for now, guys. Keep yourself safe. Obviously, we've still got this virus to deal with, and obviously, if you're starting to meet at your local club again, obviously it'll be socially distanced, which is fine by me, because that's how we're going to do it at the Colburn and Richmond Club tonight. So 7.3s for now, guys, and I hope to catch you on the air very soon.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of new videos as I upload them. 73s from Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 on 11 meters and PMR 446.